Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shift Now for February 8th to February 9th, 2023. For those of you who don't know me or are new, my name is Arlene Grace. And such an interesting energy. I'm curious about how all of you are feeling, what you are experiencing. If you are joining in live or on the replay, I'm going to invite you to please post that you are here. Say hello. Welcome all. And we're just going to move through what we've been experiencing through the energy, how we've been supported in the energy. Now, we've moved into this energy of the 9 for February, and the energy of the 9 is really an opportunity for us to let go, to let be, to allow for things to fall out of our life, the things that don't necessarily resonate with us anymore, right? We're in an energy where community is important. We may be noticing where we're wanting to commune together, where we're wanting to connect with other. We may be inspired to go to different places to connect with like-minded people, to be with people in person, right? And we're also being invited to deepen our own integrity. The integrity as people in our lives are showing us and mirroring us and mirroring how we feel about ourselves, how we value ourselves, how we love ourselves. We're also creating space within ourselves that's allowing for new creative energies to arise, new creative ideas, opportunities to know where we want to pivot. Maybe there are places where new paths are rising up where we can see, oh, this is actually the direction that I've been wanting to move in this entire time. We're also in an energy where for the entire month, we really want to pay attention to our own nervous system, to pay attention to our own body, to take care of ourselves, to notice where we are in our breath, right? The inhale and the exhale, to notice when we're just in our mind and when we can feel our mind is just spinning, right? And taking the opportunity to bring ourselves out of fight or flight so that we can come back into the body. Really, this energy of the 9 is inviting you to see the wholeness of who you are and how that's being experienced in your life. And so if you're just joining in on the call, hello, welcome, please say hello. Let me know if you can hear me. So this week, good morning. This week, we really started to move through transformation, right? We began this month with the energy of spades. And the energy of spades is really this energy of, okay, you're transmuting, you're shifting, you're changing. Good morning. And you're either going to transmute, you're either going to shift, you're either going to transform with all of this information that you're receiving, or you're going to accumulate a toxicity in your life, meaning that the things that don't serve you are really going to show you so that you can decide what you're going to do with it, whether you're willing to face it, feel it, free it, and choose something new. And so we began the month of February with this energy, which means that this energy is going to continue to carry out through the entire month. So we began Monday. And Monday was an invitation for you to be the light, for you to be so present in your body, to know that you right now, as this wise being, are here that is impacting the world, that is creating shifts in the world, that you have no idea who is watching, who is being impacted by your words, by your smile, by your actions, by your light, by your energy, by what you put on social media, by how you are with your children. You are important. And you are light, which means that as light that is flowing through this body, when you are present with that and you are shining your light, well, people start to no longer be attracted to that light. People may tell you that you are too much, that you are aggressive, that you are too little, that you are, making me uncomfortable. All of these things that are really saying, hey, you're being a leader. You're willing to express the truth. You're willing to express how you feel. And so you're moving through this energy of, okay, me and my wholeness, as my whole being, how am I going to express myself in the world? How am I going to be in community? How am I going to be with my children? Am I going to take the lead? And so as we're moving through this energy of being, all of these distortions are rising up. And by distortions, I mean the way we are now starting to see the things that we couldn't see before, right? Good morning, Vanessa. And so as we're beginning to see things that we did not see before, maybe because we weren't ready to see it, now as we start to face ourselves, we start to see through these distortions, right? Imagine rose-colored glasses. We're now being invited to, okay, well, what do you want to do with it? So yesterday's energy was, okay, I'm aware. I'm aware of this information, but am I going to continue to loop in the thing? Am I going to continue to stay in problem? Am I going to continue to let this toxicity accumulate in my life? Or am I willing to face it, feel it, free it, maybe perhaps have a conversation to express what I want, because I'm taking the lead of my life. I am the authority. And allow for ourselves to be in that conversation so that we can navigate, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this information? Or even in how you are in relationship with others, right? Because the shifting dynamics are happening for you here now. And so in this awareness of, am I looping? Am I going to continue to loop? Or am I going to move forward? Am I going to break through? We now come into today's energy. And so today's energy feels like we're cleaning up house. One of the awarenesses that really started to come through for me was taker energy, right? Where people take things, right? We have people that take things in, they want, we'll say, free healing, or they want a discount, or they want you, they show up late so that you can go and you could take care of them and you could get all of their things. They are in this place where they're just taking from you, whether it's your resources or your body or even your mind, where they're taking your emotions and they are taking your power. When I say taking your emotions, right? So you're in this place where you are with people that are taking the things. But in order for people to take from you, you must be in the position of giving. And so it's interesting because I had a dream last night that I woke up to. And in this dream, I was in this home, and it was interesting because part of the home looked normal and the other part looked like a fun house. And in this home, I was at an ex's home, and there was going to be a party or something. And so I'm looking at this home, and I end up being in a bedroom that is huge. And in this bedroom, it looks kind of fun housey because there's a toilet in the middle of the bedroom. There happens to be several beds. They're all unmade. They're all unkept. And I'm noticing all of the places in the home where he took my body, where he took my energy, where he took my thoughts and my ideas, where he took my emotions, where all of these places where he took, and where I just allowed for it to happen. And I thought, shit. And in this dream, I literally took a shit. Like there was a toddler toilet, and I found myself sitting on this toddler toilet just going. And I thought, oh, that's fascinating. Like, what is happening? I could see that people were in the dream. There was a party that was happening. They were watching as I was in the bathroom or in the bedroom. And it was just such an interesting, wonky, beautiful, releasing dream that I'm sharing with all of you that allowed for me to see I was closing myself off from receiving from men. Now, in this cleaning house energy, we're being invited to take a look at our own giving and receiving. Now, we are giving and receiving all the time. We are giving and receiving with the breath. We receive the breath from life from this planet. We receive oxygen. And as we breathe it in, we transform the oxygen to CO2, carbon dioxide, and we express that back out into the world, which now is given to the plants, to the trees, to be taken in as their life. And they, again, give us oxygen. And so we're always giving and receiving. But here you're being invited to notice, where are you giving and where are you receiving? And are you noticing in your own home where there may be takers in your life and where you are closing yourself off from receiving? So my story is, many of you might already know that I was abused when I was a child. And in that abuse, it created a pattern where men were unsafe. And so, in that, men being unsafe, I now started to see the pattern of who I am as a woman, that I took on the masculine traits, that I took on the role of being my children's father, that I took on the role of being the caregiver, that I took on the role of being the financial giver, that I took on the role of doing everything in my life rather than receiving. Now, it doesn't mean that I didn't receive. I received beautiful things. And yet, at the same time, there is it's askew. I am off balance because I'm forgetting to bring the consciousness, the awareness of receiving into my day-to-day life. I'm constantly giving and receiving, and it is being representative with the breath. I am constantly giving and receiving. And so, in this experiment of playing with giving and receiving, I'm simply being in the energy of what does it feel like to receive? So, I'm going to invite you all here to take a moment. What does it feel like to receive? I can feel some of you may have your eyes closed and you're receiving. And as you are receiving, what does it feel like for you? For me, it feels like the feminine. It feels like the divine feminine. It feels like the divine feminine receiving or flowing through my body, which is what it is. The divine feminine is always receiving and is always willing to receive, which means that the divine masculine is here to give. And so I say this because I want you to pay attention to notice in your life where you are receiving all of these things, that all of these things are possible and available for you, whether that's love or that is money or that is experiences beyond nature. But are you closing yourself off from receiving because there's a part of you that unconsciously is not trusting it? And so part of the noticing for me was, okay, I'm going to play with receiving. And if I am going to play with receiving, I'm going to be tuned into this energy of receiving all day. And so I began that last night. And my body is going through a detox, right? The toxicity is moving through my body. My body is feeling sore. I've got a crick in my neck. Like all of these things are detoxing out. And this morning, as I woke up, I started fighting myself. The feminine in my body was fighting with the masculine in my body. And it was a fight like this, like the feminine was fighting like a girl. And I was laughing because I was observing the fighting. But part of me wanted to stay in the pattern of, well, I got to get up, I got to get ready, I got to get the kids to school. What am I going to prepare for everyone here? Because I'm doing a live. What do I got to do? And so I went straight into my masculine of, I got to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. When part of my feminine was like, hey, remember you said you were going to receive? Can't we do both at the same time? And it was not easy in my experience. There was a little bit of a fight that was going on. And so I'm going to invite you to notice as you're cleaning up house and as we're in this energy of giving and receiving from life, because it begins with life, right? It begins with energy of source, of your essence, of an energy that is always available and flowing through you, to how it is now showing up in your own actions, in your own behaviors, in how you're caring for your children, in how you're getting them ready for school, in how you're running your business, in how you're engaging with your partner, right? I'm now realizing in all of this where I took the lead in my relationship. I was the man. Not I was the man, but I took the lead in my relationship. And I took the lead in every single one of my relationships because I didn't trust the masculine. I didn't trust him to give. And even in that part where he was giving, I couldn't even see it. I couldn't even see that he was giving me the love, or that he was giving me the validation, or he's telling me that I was pretty. I couldn't even see it. because I was the one that wanted to take the lead. I was the one that wanted to give, because it is safer for me to give than to receive. Because in order for me to receive, I need to move through all of the distortions and the ideas that it is selfish to receive, that girls are weak when they receive, that when you receive, then it means that you are doing nothing, that you are probably lazy, that when you receive, that you are you're too lucky, like you shouldn't be receiving so much, like how can you receive so much, that's not fair, like, and then so you receive the jealousy, you receive the judgment, you receive the anger. But what if, and I'm looking at this group and I'm going to imagine that most of us are women, what if we were meant to receive? What if that was part of life? And what if that is what is expanding for us as we move forward? We are receivers. Because when we can receive, it naturally overflows. It just naturally overflows. And so take a look at your life where you have overgiven. I remember I used to overgive. I used to loan people money when I didn't have it. I used to loan people money from my credit cards in order to give to others. I would give someone my shirt. I would give people things, even if I loved it, because I was such a good giver. I could still do it today if I'm not paying attention. And so noticing that for yourself, where am I over giving in life? Where have I stopped myself short from receiving? Right? And it begins with the breath, because we're paying attention to our own nervous system. And so as we move forward with today, as we come into this awareness of, okay, I might be in for this. I might be in for a huge awareness today. And as I come into this huge awareness today, now what? What am I going to do with that? How am I going to express myself? Because your key is to not only receive from life in all possibilities that are available to you, but to express your own needs and your own desires, and where you can be supported, and where you can receive from life, from your partner, from your children, from the things, without fear. So with an open heart, without fear that they might say no, that they may go and shame you, that they might go and judge you, that they might not do the things, but the willingness to express it anyway, and to hold the energy of, I'm open to receiving, so that you can, right? So that you can actually see that it is available for you. And so it's a beautiful energy today, that's allowing for you to be. So you're here to be present, to be in access to your essence, your essential self, to your higher self, and now to receive it, to receive more of it, to deepen your understanding of it, to deepen your feeling of it, as you receive from the material, as you receive from God, creator, source, as you receive from people in your life, from your man, from your whatever. And as you're receiving, to deepen your gratitude, not because it's the thing to do, but because in the gratitude of receiving, you now amplify that to receive more. You amplify, you celebrate for yourself. So it clicks in your brain, oh, here I am receiving. Receiving is normal. Receiving is the thing to do. This is what I'm here for. I receive. And to notice when you're in shame, where you think you're receiving too much, when you think you might go into, like, it's like, sometimes I'm watching, I'm paying attention, I'm noticing what's happening. And it's like someone will say something like, oh man, I loved your live. It was great. It was this, it was that. Great. And I'm very careful and meticulous of how much I'm going to receive that. I can only receive just a little bit. And so, there are moments where I catch myself. I can only receive a little bit, because if I receive all of it, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm uncomfortable. And so noticing that today. And then we move into tomorrow. And so tomorrow is a blessing energy, and yet we're moving into another letting go energy. And so here you are, and you have this awareness. If you're actually playing with this, if you're bringing this into this, okay, how am I not receiving from life? How can I receive more? Just a little bit more, just 1% more every fucking day. I'm willing to receive more. And from today, in this awareness, what do I do on Thursday? Because Thursday is inviting you to do it, Make it more, take it higher, receive any more, but notice where you're complicating it. The beauty in tomorrow's energy is that your willingness to take it higher without the overcomplication, because now the mind wants to grab on, the mind wants to make it complicated, the mind wanted to make tallies, I did this, which means you did this. And so now you start to play tennis. I did this for my partner, which means my partner needs to do this, and I need to do this, and no, stop. Forget that. I'm just going to be in the energy of receiving. I'm going to recoup my energy. Today I feel tired because I'm receiving. I am in this energy of receiving, but my body is now showing me where I gave too much. Whether that was money or energy or this or that or the other, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And so in this, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm just going to be in, okay, what is it like to receive? Energy first, always. And so as I receive the energy, I let go of the complication of where the mind might want to go. Because the mind might want to take it, and it might want to move into blame. It might want to go into to competition. It might want to go into all of these places. But as you come into this energy of, I'm just going to receive, and that is my gift. It is my gift in this world to receive and to show others how to receive in life. Because as I open myself to receiving from life itself, others begin to see that they can receive too. Others begin to see that there is no competition. There's enough for all. Others begin to see that things are possible. Others begin to see, I don't have to tell them. They just begin to see it. And so there is going to be a letting go tomorrow. There might be a letting go of the patterns of where you are noticing you are overgiving to the world, overgiving to your partner, overgiving to your children, where you are going into where you are. I'm looking at one as like where you are in distrust of men, right? And so are you willing to pull back and face it, feel it, free it? Because there is going to be a letting go of patterns as they start to rise up for you to see where you are not trusting the masculine. I'm not going to say men, the masculine energy. Right. And so if you're just joining in on the call, I'm talking about masculine and feminine energy, but in some of our experiences where we took on being the giver in life, which is a masculine role. And in giving as the masculine, because we didn't trust the masculine in our life. Right. And so in noticing this and noticing where you may be overgiving, because you on the other side of it have a bunch of takers. People are taking your energy, they're taking your money, they're taking your work, they're taking whatever they're taking. And noticing where you can pull back from that. Because in that awareness, you get to choose. And so there will be a letting go, there will be a cleansing that may be happening for you. And so your opportunity here on Thursday is to notice that every trigger that you have is here to bring you forward to raise in your own value. And so your opportunity here today, your key today, is to notice the triggers. And for some of you, it may be nuanced. It may be so slight. It may not be something that you feel in the body. But to notice that trigger, to notice this nuance so that you can face it, you can feel it, you can free it, then you express. You express your truth. And to express your truth, not from a place of, I am angry, hear me roar, this is my message, you're not doing this for me, but to express it from a place of, okay, I'm going to express to myself and to whoever is listening, you can be in an empty room, that I may not have been a very good receiver in my life. And so now I allow myself to open up into receiving from life, from people in my life. I notice where I'm distrustful of the masculine, distrustful of the men or the men in my life. And yet at the same time, I'm willing to take self-responsibility. Because the self-responsibility doesn't come from I'm blaming what has happened in my life, but the self-responsibility of I'm going to forgive the experience. I'm going to forgive the person. It doesn't mean that the memory has to go or the memory has to change, but in this energy, of I'm going to let them off the hook so that I let me off the hook, I am now actually opening up and creating space in my body so that I can receive. So it's an interesting energy that's happening for all of us. And it's this beautiful opportunity here, because even in this, the whole nuance of this entire topic is lack. And so when you're noticing that you're in lack, then of course we want to give in order to what? In order to receive. And so these are part of the patterns that are rising up. I used to bake banana bread so that I would see my man. I used to buy my partner clothes and wardrobes and this and that and the other in order so that I could have time. But at the end of the day, I didn't even want their time. I wanted their presence. And so all of these things are coming up so that you can see, and I'm going to air quote, the toxicity that's in your life, because it's just not serving you as this divine being, as this goddess, right? You as this queen, this goddess, as this feminine energy are here to receive. As a receiver of information, of spirit, we thereby give to the world because it overflows from us. And so just noticing these pieces, I can feel there's some shame that's rising up in the room. So just allow the shame to rise up in the room and go. And so from today, it's your willingness to decide. Today is the day to decide, what do I want? What do I really want? As I've noticed all of these things from the week, from the month, from beyond, I am now at this place of I get to clean up house and I get to choose. What do I want? What do I want? Who am I? Goddess, queen, essence, source, energy. And as I know who I am, I have a better idea of what I want. So what do I want? Well, I decided. Yeah, love it. So Janine is just realizing that receiving for me is tied up with people pleasing, right? Is my reaction to receiving for me or for them? Yes. And then feel guilty for receiving. You're so spoiled. I heard going up. Yeah, absolutely. And so like letting that go, I could feel that in the head. And so that beautiful awareness, oh, okay, I'm seeing a pattern. I'm seeing how this may be running in my life. And so am I willing to shift that? Will I decide to receive for me anyway? Because all of this energy is bringing you back to your purpose. Your purpose is you. Your purpose is to discover you. It is an honor to get to know you as who you truly are. It's such an honor, right? Because as you get to know who you are and you move that out into the world, like, the impact on your children, on your partner, on those in your community and those in the world is just, you don't even know. Samantha, I just literally had this conversation with my tapping buddy this morning on our weekly meeting. Oh, I love it. Paula, I totally feel it is time to replenish my energy and allow myself to receive. It has always been that. So I'm just going to share, Shelly. Like Shelly is my muse, and like I'm watching her, she's just receiving from life. Like she's receiving from her partner. She's receiving from all of these different parts of her life, and she's sharing it with me. And I'm just kind of pulling back and in observation of, wow, it's extraordinary. Stephanie, I'm feeling so much of this. Yeah, love it. So my curiosity is what's rising up. How can the consciousness of the nine support? What questions do you have? Now, tomorrow I'm going to LA. So I will be away for about a week. But I'm going to do my best to keep connected, whether that's in video or doing a live. I'm not too sure. We're going to the Consciousness Life Expo. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like when we get there, but I will do my best. Yes, Allison, you are a queen of diamonds. What an interesting couple of days it'll be. Yeah, Mesa, right? Like, especially as you're like, I know that you're also navigating relationships. Like, what does that mean? now that you have this awareness to receive and to allow the masculine to be the giver. What does that mean as like in relationship? Oh, so good. You're welcome, Vanessa. Right, Tammy? So exciting. And so noticing where am I not receiving? Where am I not receiving from life? And I used to use like easy examples of, and it's an easy example where, or maybe not, where, someone's trying to open the door for you, but you're like, no, it's okay. Even though your hands are full of groceries, but because it's a man, you're like, I got it. Allow yourself to be nurtured. Allow yourself to be supported, right? Yeah. All right, Janine, I would love a card, please. Let's put this up. I would love a card, please, within this conversation, so relevant to my day yesterday. For sure. So I'm feeling your energy. So I'm feeling a stop, go, stop, go. So even in this, in everything that's happening, in the giving and the receiving, the invitation is to remain open in the heart. Right. And so as you start to identify, we'll say takers in your life, and I don't like the word takers, but it's a great example. Like it's a great word, right? So as you start to experience the takers in your life, oh my God, my ex-husband is wanting to take my money. He's wanting to take the kids. He's wanting to take my assets, whatever. He's the taker. And it's because it's his own pattern, right? We'll use as an example to, as you're shifting from within, as you're moving your energy into, okay, I'm going to be the receiver. As I shift from within, things are going to take a little bit more time to shift in your own physical experience. And so as they're shifting in the physical experience, to allow yourself to remain open, right? Open-hearted amidst the people that are shifting it or not shifting as you are shifting, right? So yeah, I feel like, Janine, there's a stopping, going, where I can feel your heart is like this, where it's not that if something's not going your way, but it is that energy. If something's not going your way, you close yourself off and you almost turn and you're like, okay, I'm out. Like you walk away from it. Yeah. Six of Spades. Interesting. So, you're receiving from life all the time. Like there are so many things that you don't notice that you're receiving. And so you're being invited to open up your lens of, okay, what if I am going to play this role of being a receiver, if I'm going to receive from life, then I better be aware of what it is I'm actually receiving from life. And so you're being invited to see life through a bigger lens, to be willing to open up your view of how life has always been supporting you, giving to you, loving you, all of these things. It almost feels like you've been in an experience over the last year and a half, like 3 years. So the last 3 years where you've been seeing life like this. It's not like this, but it's like this, where you're experiencing your life through this. I don't want to see what's beyond this, because what's beyond this is a little bit scary. And so you're being invited to let go of the lens to see all of life. And not because you're going to chase it. So using an example of, okay, if something's happening in the markets, if something's happening with money, there's something, I don't know, something's askew, I'm not too sure, I'm feeling an energy in the collective about money. And so what am I going to do with that? And so many of us will go and we'll chase the information. We'll go down a rabbit hole of like looking for what's wrong in the world so that you can somehow fix what's wrong before it gets you. And instead, it's inviting you to open up your lens to receive information from life, from others, from people in your life, not so that you don't hide from the information. So because some of the things that are giving to you in this moment are opportunities for you to move through your own triggers of where you are, I'm hearing, silently in fear of life. And so to allow yourself to open yourself into what is available for you to see, for you to hear, for you to experience, for you to energetically be in. Like, it almost feels like an energetic space as well, so that you can let go of control of how you're navigating your life. Like, what would it be like to just be free and open, completely open to life in everything that is there for you, knowing that you and your own energy, you and your own frequency are going to attract like situations that are of resonance, right? You're going to attract things. And so many of the things that you are hiding from are from your childhood, from your teens, from your 20s. And so they're wanting to be seen so that it can show you where you're not receiving from life, where you're not receiving from men, wealth, all of the things. Yeah. I hope that helps. Vanessa, I've been doing self-love and recharge. I've been so drained. Yeah, for sure. And so it's just coming back into the body and allowing, what does it feel like to receive in my body? Just beginning there. I would love a card for guidance in this energy, please. Yeah, Lisa. Mm-hmm. It feels like you're at a decision point. Like, for some reason, like, I won't stop shuffling. You're at a decision point. You haven't yet decided. So I'm not sure what it is that you are in like what's happening in your experience where you're being faced with a decision, but it feels like you're just kind of scrolling. It's like you're on Instagram, you're just scrolling. And in the scrolling, you haven't yet stopped on an image or on a video or TikTok or whatever to actually decide whether or not you want to see it. And so, let's see what the card says. You're inviting your life to go higher. Like, you're inviting your life to go higher, meaning that you want to take your relationships higher, but not just your relationships. You want to take your home higher. You want to take your car higher. You want to take your business higher. You want to take life. Everything wants to go higher. That's what you want. And so I feel like this scrolling is like, I don't know where to begin. How am I supposed to do it? What am I supposed to do? And so there's this pattern of letting life choose for you, where you're being invited to, okay, you want to take your life higher. Where do you want to begin? Start with that. Where do you want to begin, so that you can start to navigate the house, so the house can start to arrive for you. And so choose. Come back to you, come back to the essence of you, feel into you. Where do you want to begin in up-leveling your life and upgrading? That's first, right? So that you can start to accumulate the things that you're actually wanting. Like, this feels like the how, but this is also the millionaire's card, right? And so if you are actually wanting wealth, well, like, to play with wealth, you want money. I'm hearing you. I want money. All right. So if you want money, but the money it's like, yeah, I know you want money. I know you've been calling in money. I know you've been calling in wealth, but the money wants to know where it's going to go. Like, are you directing the flow of the money? Or is this money just being showered all over the place? Again, it takes us back to scrolling. And so there's a pattern, there's a looping. So what do you want, so that you can now bring focus into where you're directing the flow? And this is going to be, in this up leveling, you're also upgrading your own value. I feel like there's been a bunch of changes in your experience, where you're also up leveling your value as a mom, as a protector, as a not as a servant. It almost feels like you're letting go of the energy of the servant. I used to serve for my kids, but a distortion rose up for you to actually see clearly, so that you can clearly define, okay, I know when to step in. I know when I don't. I know when, and because you have children of different age ranges. And so you're up leveling you, which is now being mirrored in not your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your children, but it still hasn't come into the material. It still hasn't shown up. Like, you're not seeing the physical manifestation of it yet, because there are some things you've made decisions for, there's some things that you haven't. So as you're looking for the money, direct it somewhere. What do you want? Amp up the value, the wealth within yourself. You're already starting to feel that as a mom. And so just keep on going, but decide as you go, right? You are the chooser of your experience every day. And so coming back to that. Tammy, I would love a card on where I am blocking my receiving. Yeah. I feel like you get carried away in your thoughts sometimes, and in the getting carried away of your thoughts, you actually laugh at yourself. And in the laughing of yourself, like it's almost like I can only feel it as mind. I don't feel it in the rest of my body. So you'll be like, you're thinking about receiving, and then you're laughing at yourself because you're almost, you're almost going to this, but that time when I wanted to receive, I didn't. Or, that time when blah, 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 it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to happen. Yeah. So the patterns of where you weren't receiving, where you were forcing the receiving, are already rising up for you to see. And so I kind of love that the laughing is kind of allowing for it to go. So good job. Interesting. So your job is not to look for where you are blocking your receiving. Your job is just to allow yourself to receive. So are you willing to just turn up the faucet? And as you turn up the faucet by deciding, I decide I'm going to receive, you can start to then see where you are holding yourself back from receiving itself. You're not looking for the problem. You're just noticing, we're just coming into an awareness right now. And in that awareness, I don't have to heal anything. I don't have to change anything outside of me. What I'm going to change is within me, which is a decision point of what does it feel like to receive, and will I allow myself to do it? So coming back to, okay, I'm going to receive today. I have no idea what that looks like, but I'm willing to check. I'm willing to play with that. I'm willing to be curious. And so in my willingness to be curious, I'm going to be aware. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to notice the places where I might be stopping myself, where a thought might come into my mind, or all of those things. And as I turn this up, then tonight I'm going to go to bed. And before I go to bed, I might grab a journal. I might pay attention. I might just re-observe my day and notice the places where, okay, I'm going to be introspective. I could have received a little bit more over there at the grocery store when someone was smiling at me and I didn't smile back. I could have received more when I was driving down the street and that person was trying to let me into this lane, but I didn't take it. I'm noticing, like, there are all of these places where you'll start to come aware. And so it can be simple. We're inviting simple, not problem. And so as you do this, as you play with this, and as you actually assess at the end of the day, you get to now even go deeper tomorrow. Okay, I'm noticing this. I want to go deeper tomorrow. I'm going to receive even more tomorrow. And so I decide I'm going to wake up and I'm going to remember, what does it feel like to receive? What is it to receive? And am I willing to receive it? Fuck yeah, I am. So I'm going to go about my next day and I'm going to receive even more today because I now see where I didn't. And so you just keep on going, which now builds the trust within you. It changes how you respond in the body. You come into more awareness. Like, you start to build this beautiful cycle of, I just have to live. And so what would it be like to just live and receive from life with my willingness to do it more and more each day? So there's energy moving up. Just allow the energy to move up. Oh, this is not a question. I will read this. I see so much contrast with my sister and I based on our experiences with our parents being different. It also reminds me I spent so much of my younger life, even into adulthood, where I was an observer when in crowds. Yeah, I'm certain now I was always assessing my safety in situations. Yes. So I love that because it feels like I know that you're bringing in your intuition too. Sometimes we use our intuition, our spidey senses. I call it our spidey senses to assess. Is it safe to be here? Okay, Mesa, I would love cards to support the next 5 days to continue to be centered and aware and not reactive. Yeah. Well, if you're to bring in receiving, yeah. So you're doing it. We know that you're doing it. We know that you've been on this journey for the last, I think you started with 9 days or 11 days. And so you're continuing to do it. You're continuing to move through your triggers. You're continuing to see where you're triggered. But now are you willing to receive? And so if you were to bring in this, I'm going to receive, I'm going to allow myself to receive, even from my sister, what would that be like? What would my experience be like if I were to just receive from everyone? If I were to really lead from my feminine, what would that be like? How would that change my day? Right? And so by leading in your feminine is to receive. And so as you go about your day, as you handle your Airbnb or you handle the horses or all of the things, it's like, okay, I'm going to be in my feminine. I'm going to be receiving. And so you get to notice how you get to play. You get to play with life and experiment with life to see how that comes back to you, how you are actually nurtured that you might not have seen before. And so you're being initiated to bring this in so that you can be the queen, so that you can be that feminine leader in your life, and so that you can receive the gifts that are available that I feel like you might not see. Right? Well, I would love a card to have more insights of where I am and what else I can do to move forward with alignment. Love that. Great question. So funny. As I tap into you, it's like, Paula, you're right there. Like, where am I? You're here. You feel different, like you feel centered, you feel sure, you feel certain. When I feel you in your body, you feel like you feel certain, like certain that you're on the right path. It's when we move up here that you start to like go off a little bit into story, or like, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I going to ever make friends? Am I gonna, where am I gonna go next? How is my, what's happening with my family? Like, it's interesting. I don't know why I took on your accent, but yeah. And so, receive the blessings. Like it's like, will you in this energy of you as you're coming, hold on, as you're coming more aligned with the essence of you, as you're coming more aligned with what it is that you're wanting to experience, you're being invited to see the blessings that are all around you. Your life has been already starting to come into form, into shape, into changing, and you're not noticing the changing landscape. Now, I know that you travel and that the landscape might be always changing, but there are things that are happening within your own relationships, within the dynamics, with your own community that have been shifting that you haven't yet come into awareness of to see the blessing in it. Now, sometimes blessings can be that people have left, but the blessing can be that you're actually connecting more deeply with others. And so there's an opportunity for you to come back to just notice your life. Okay, here I am. I've made these changes. I've decided to love myself more. I've decided to allow my intuition to bloom. I've come to know myself more. I've moved through a journey in my body where it was feeling unwell for a little while. I've done all of these things, and can I be here in this moment to just fully receive the fruits of my labor? Can I receive it? And so in the receiving of it, you actually, it's like the clicking into place. Oh, I see. And so you begin to see what is your new timeline. You begin to see more of it so that you can now know, okay, and now this is what I want. I want to experience more of this, or I want to experience greater I don't know, greater wealth or whatever. So the result is you start to bring that together. So it's like you bring the physical into your life. You bring it so that you see your life as a whole, but you see your life as a whole because you are the creator of that experience. You begin to see how you in your own power, it shifts the energy in the room. Like you begin to see you, and you begin to see you mirrored back in others, which is quite beautiful. So, yeah. Stephanie, I would love a card, please. A lot rising up for me. I am a wonderful giver, and as a Five of Hearts, I feel everything I want to receive. Five of Hearts is my Venus and my PRC. It's been a tough life. That's kind of what's speaking today. Five of Hearts with the Four of Spades. Okay. I'm a wonderful giver and a five. As a Five of Hearts, I feel everything I want to receive. How can I receive? Oh, it's really like just like Four of Spades. It's like just allow yourself to receive, and so you receive by just deciding you're going to do it, and allowing for it to come in all forms, allowing for it to, and just noticing where you're at with that, like. I'm going to receive. I decide I'm going to receive. And so life will start to mirror you. It'll start to show you places where you're really, really good at it, but also places where you're not so good at it, like where you might hold yourself back from receiving. And so whether that is, attention from someone on social media, or that's 1,000 followers suddenly jump onto your Facebook, or like all of these things, like you start to notice where you can't, or where it's uncomfortable for you to receive, or where you are distrusting the receiving. Does it make sense? So it's just, you can receive just simply by receiving and then noticing. So just living in that decision, I decide I'm going to play with receiving. The result is initiation. You're initiating your own opportunity to receive from life. You're initiating your own shift in energy of moving from this place of like moving into balance, moving into harmony, where it feels like you've been giving a lot, and where you are shifting into, well, what does it mean to receive? How does that change? What parts of my personality are going to fall away? What does that mean in my relationship with my children? How is that going to impact my business? How is that going to impact me? And it's like, are you willing to play in that? Because in this receiving, you begin to access even more and more of your whole self. Yeah. Samantha, I would love a card, please. My intention is to step even further into my personal power. Everything else is not any of my business. Okay. I don't know what it is about you, Samantha. I hope I get to meet you in person one day. I can't stop shuffling. So it almost feels like you're still figuring out, what does that even look like? Like, what does it mean to be in my personal power? Like there's a little bit of a distortion that's rising up, and it feels like it's attached to a lot of what rose up on Monday, where there was like, it's so fascinating in love relationships. Like we can't help but put on these rose-colored glasses. Like we see love in relationship through distortion, and it's been mirrored and amplified through through movies we watch, the rom-coms, our favorite movies, like like Pretty Woman. I'm saying Pretty Woman because Lisa's here, but like all of these movies, 10 ways to dump a man or whatever, like all of these things have skewed our idea of what love is and what relationship is. And it feels like love is really tied to power for you, right? There's this distortion that's wanting to rise up that where there's this thinking that love and power are the same. And yeah, so we're just letting that rise up. It's wanting to clear, but it's being curious. Are you willing to trust your personal power? Are you willing to trust your own power? And what does it actually mean for you to trust your own power? And playing with it and just kind of going within and being introspective of, okay, well, what does power mean for me? What does it mean for me to be in my power? How am I seeing that I might have abused my power? Where am I noticing power in my own relationship dynamics with my husband? What did I notice? Like, it's just being introspective as you allow for yourself to face it, feel it, free it. Because I feel like it's moving up through the heart and moving up in through the brain. Ooh. And so it's being in this energy of, okay, I choose to be in my personal power. I choose to be in power. I choose to be in my energy. And so what would it like to be in my energy? Empowered, inspirited, empowered with my energy, where I have received enough of me through my body that I am full. And so now I'm in power. As I'm in power, there is no voice, there is no thought, there is no idea that's coming in it. And so I'm now in power. And so as I move empowered, how do I play with other people? How do I navigate that? I'm empowered now, which means that if I'm empowered now, feeling my essence, feeling my energy here now, empowered, that means that everyone else can be empowered too. And so what's shifting out are the power dynamics that have played a role in your relationships. But kind of remembering you and your personal power here, choosing to be in this energy here, and to bring that into your life, but then noticing the triggers where people are bringing you into their business, bringing you into the drama, is you noticing, okay, I'm triggered. I'm being invited to raise my value, raise my power. So I'm going to face it, feel it, free it, move through it. And sometimes if that means moving through forgiveness, it means moving through forgiveness so that you can, like, you always get the Queen of Clubs, like, so that I can access me, so that I can come and I can just be fully me, so that I can be the queen, so I can experience my life in mastery, where I know that there are maybe people that are trying to pull me into their energy, but I just say no. I say no. I'm going to be empowered because I know that they have their own power to access for themselves. All right. Yay. I love it. Woohoo. Okay. So Wanda, so this morning, Emerson came up and was upset because she had received a message from a friend, a boy, saying he was deleting Snapchat, and she immediately blamed herself. I don't know what I did, but feels like this reflection is very much in this energy and perhaps more awareness for me to come into. Yeah, right. Oh, I love that. Yeah, our children, they're just beautiful mirrors. I can feel that. Do you feel that as I say, what did I do wrong? Like there's just this energy that's wanting to move up and out. And so just feel into your frequency and allow that energy to move up and out. And it's like, and then replace, like, do you trust you now? The story that is there, the story is the past, but in this moment you get to create. And so in this awareness and feeling this energy, we get to face it, we get to feel it, we get to free it. It's rising up. And I love myself so much. I trust myself so much that I have a better understanding. I am wise. I have a better understanding of how the universe works, how the universe is so divine, how I come into convergence with these people because they mirror this to me. But that was the past, and that is no longer. And so I trust me. I trust me to feel into the energy, to navigate the aversion, to navigate the attraction, to move in the direction of what it is that I want, to be in community with the people that I love, to continue to move in that direction, to allow that to just unfold for me. And so I leap. I trust. Everyone else is making judgments. Everyone else has their own life. Everyone else's decisions have nothing to do with me. Yeah. And then Ace of Diamonds, which is me. But what do you want? Coming back into that place of what do you want, right? And as I'm feeling this, it's what do you want as a whole? What do you want in your life? What do you want to experience as a whole within your own life? Like there is no separation. We're letting go of separation in your experience. And yeah. So what do you want to experience? Because I feel like you've navigated a lot of this sacrifice energy and I must do this to do that. And so, yeah, what do you want now? Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today, for playing live and on the replay. And I'll see you in the spaces. I'll see you from LA on Friday. Thank you so much for joining. Sending you so much love. And I will see you in the spaces. Bye for now.